I thought it was an interesting episode. Once again, a lot happened.
Yeah, where do you start with? Let's start with the slut-shaming girl gang plot, because I have a lot of feelings about it.
Well, I felt like it was very over the nose, over the nose, on the nose, like, this is feminism today, hurrah!
I was like referring to the dialogue as SVU dialogue, because, you know, Cheryl would be like, oh, boys will be boys. It's like, no, Cheryl, that kind of thinking is misguided and wrong. Which is like the SVU dialogue of explaining to you the problem. But I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, they did spell it out for you, so that's very useful for people a lot of people, I guess, don't really recognize it unless it's thrown in their face. Because I know, when I was in high school, back in the day, you didn't necessarily think you were as problematic, but then you look back on your behavior like, oh yeah, I was a slut shamer, for sure.
And like like social media as well, with the introduction of that, it's become more of a thing for a lot of girls to be shamed like this. It's a thing that really happens. So I was happy that they did it. I will say that the revenge sequence I wasn't a huge fan of. It felt like unnecessarily sexual. The whole like, our empowerment has to involve like a seduction plot is not my favorite trope.
Seduction plot and then public humiliation.
Yeah.
Which a lot of these well-meaning things seem to go. But let's, while we're on the subject, let's talk about Bad Betty.
Let's talk about that wig.
How about that wig and that? What was that black thing? She was just in all black. That's a symbol of going dark, is when you got the black hair, the black outfit. Didn't she even have a red sash on her?
Yeah, did she just have all those things laying around? Is my question. Which, I mean, we have so many things planted in this episode. We have the fact that Betty just casually knows how to drug someone. We have a wig. We have
the CoverGirl lipstick that she plugged there.
That product placement was so... Yeah, I mean, there's this kind of like, she's gonna be super feminine, and that's associated with her being bad.
But they used like the traditional bad girl tropes of the red lipstick, of the black outfit. So that red and black.
Yeah, and even before that, she like dresses up to seduce Chuck with like skimpier clothing and all that as well.
So that kind of undermines the whole slut shaming thing, because they're kind of playing into the stereotype, I feel.
And also, I don't know, it's very clear Betty took it way too far. So, like, imagine being Veronica in that situation. You're just planning like a casual revenge with your girlfriend, as you do, and then she just goes way too far with it. There's a wig.
Let's talk about Miss Grundy and Archie, because they keep playing it as this sort of forbidden romance, and it really is gross. If you think about it, Archie's supposed to be 14 years old. Like between 14 and 15 years old.
Yeah, it's really easy to forget that because he's so clearly a grown man.
I mean, in CW, I mean, he's,
Yeah, he's such a CW teenager, but I feel like they're getting better at showing that Grundy is being very manipulative towards him and that she doesn't actually care about him. She really just cares about her own protection. At the same time, that moment where he's like, oh, thanks for talking to my dad. I was so mad. I was like, no.
It's just super weird, and I really hope that they address it like more, when stuff's gonna hit the fan, and people are gonna find out. But the question is, how are they gonna?
Yeah, in the preview of the next episode, we can see that Miss Grundy is not exactly who she says she is, and they're gonna explore that more. So hopefully, I just want Archie to snap out of it. And I don't know, like go make music. I think the reason I'm not that invested in Archie's music subplot is because I know the Archies are gonna be made at some point. I know he's gonna have a band, so there's no tension, there's no like curiosity about how he's gonna make his band. Like Josie said, the doors are open for him.
True. What if they just like go in a different direction and turn Archie into like a metalhead?
It would be in line with his teenage angst. I'm just saying. Yeah, I do feel like the stars of this show right now very much are Betty and Veronica. They're in the middle of everything. They're way more interesting, and Archie's just kind of there. And there was like no mention of the triangle again in the last episode, really, right?
I think they had like a throw-off thing when they were trying to seduce Chuck, and they were like, well, let's just forget about the Betty, what did they say? I forget about my rivalry with Veronica. We're just gonna team up. Why not share? Yeah. Or stop fighting over Archie. Why not share?
Just want Betty and Veronica to get together. It's so clear they're in love, right? It's like,
they are endgame. Forget Archie. Archie doesn't matter. It's all about Betty and Veronica. What's their ship name?
Veronica?
Veronica, Betty.
Yeah, so it's revealed that Cheryl was originally going to help Jason run away, and I think that's all she knows at this point. I don't think she's hiding anything more. What about you?
I think she's a red herring. It looks like she's guilty or she has something to do with her brother's death, but I feel like she's totally innocent in that retrospect.
Yeah.
She's cuckoo.
Yeah, and in this episode, she kind of admits that maybe there's a side of Jason she doesn't know about, which is like a very kind of sinister thing, but I think it also shows that Cheryl's gonna be discovering a lot of new things as we go on too.
Yes. And I just like seeing her unravel, just because she's the actress who plays her is so good, and she's so sort of like on the verge of being extremely unhinged. And I love to see that. I love that fire that she
Yeah,
has.
she's also just kind of a parody of herself at some points, and I like love it. It's like #Justice for Ethel, and I'm like, I like that. I like that she brings a bit more humor and outrageousness to Riverdale when everyone else is so mopey.
Yes.
So yeah, the women on Riverdale are killing it right now. They are the best things about this show. I don't want to say in real life, but it's true in real life too. So yeah, girl power, go.
Who do you think killed Jason Blossom now?
OJ did it. Too soon?
Well, we have a lot of things planted. We have Dilton Doily has a gun and is apparently a survivalist in his weird Moonrise Kingdom outfit. Betty apparently knows how to drug someone. She has a wig and a weird thing where she becomes Polly sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna stick with my theory that someone from the Cooper family is involved, or that Betty, at the very least, saw Jason the week before he died.
She probably did, but I feel like her mom didn't. I feel like her mom is just so cruel. She has this nice facade, but there's something really ugly underneath, and she takes it out on Betty all the time. And maybe just knowing what Jason has done to her other daughter, Poppy, right? I was gonna call her Poppy Seeds. My bad. I feel like she has the capability of murder.
There's also a few other things planted. I felt like in the second episode, they kept on mentioning witches. They mentioned Madam Satan.
Sabrina!
I want Sabrina to appear soon. There's also that little moment where Veronica is like, oh, well, I couldn't have done anything. I wasn't here when that happened. And I'm like, but wait.
Come on.
You can't just say that directly
Come
and
on.
not have it be like, oh, is that a ploy?
Listen, it's my girl Veronica. She can do no wrong. Let us not judge her by her past, but for her present. And presently, she is a bomb-ass you-know-what.
What did you think about Riverdale's girl gang, and who do you think killed Jason Blossom? Let us know in the comments.